Which part of Ocala are you located?
In the shady area off of 312,
Okay.
Southwest Ocala.
Southwest. Got it. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in the Northeast. And I'm going to check chat and see if we have anybody else in Ocala close by. And if you are and you want to turn on your webcam, this is a brand new thing that eBay has launched. And I'm so excited about it because now we can Zoom, forget Zoom. We're going to use this this program so that we can communicate and talk about our eBay businesses, and we'll have some educational presentations. And then we can also talk about when we're all ready to meet live and meeting locations. And they have a good meeting room. And it's free. So that's the best part. And it'll be kind of a good location for everybody. So if anybody else has any information about meeting rooms, then we need to get a list going so that we can, find some local locations. Oh, we got Sandra from the Villages. Welcome. All right. So if anybody wants to turn on their webcam, I guess we can have up to 4 people right now. I guess that's going to change. So eBay is going to have a new program where we'll be able to have more people. So we're kind of like the guinea pigs right now with I think we're the first one to have a meeting on this platform. So
I'm in a dilemma with, I have a vintage train set that I put up on an auction, and it started out at $60, and 2 days ago skyrocketed, like, I don't know how many bids there were, but it went up to $260 or something like that.
Woo!
Yeah, excited, right? And then I looked at the final bidder and they had no ratings, and I'm like,
that's okay.
Oh no, it's not okay because they didn't pay. So
they didn't.
Open a case against them today. And I had that happen last year on a Louis Vuitton purse I had for $400. An exact same thing where they had no rating. And that's a question I have. Can you? I was reading online yesterday. Can you not allow people that have no ratings? I know you can have people that with negative ratings, where they can't bid on your stuff, but
you can.
But can you have people
adjust that?
Yeah,
but you can't adjust it per listing. It's either on all your listings or,
I just had experience with it.
Okay.
I couldn't believe it, and so what I understand I'm supposed to is now I get 4 days, have to wait 4 days for eBay, and then I guess I can go in and do a second chance offer because there was a bidder right behind that one.
Right. So, Marianne just had that suggestion, but you kind of have to wait, don't you? I'm sorry that happened. Then you got to go block that person just to be safe, so you can block them. You can block them from in case they do get feedback or whatever, but it's unfortunate. It hasn't happened to me in years, knock on wood, but it does happen every once in a while. Has anybody else had any experience with that? Okay, Robert says I'm only seeing 2 people. That's right, Robert. I have to set you up to, if you have a webcam, please type it in chat and then I will let you in. This new system that launched with eBay, this new meeting space, right now it only allows 4 people at the same time. And Philip is working on his video cam now. Robert, if you would have one, let me know. Just type it in the chat that you have a camera. And hey, Noor, several buyers accepted offers but don't pay, have an open case against them. Wow, several buyers. Oh, they accepted offers. Oh, doggone it. That's annoying when you send out an offer and they accept it and then they don't pay. Have you had that happen, Valerie?
I've had that one happen.
That's, it's part of doing business, no matter what kind of business you're in. It's, it's just the way it is. But luckily, I haven't not had that happen in a very long time. So maybe it's a good opportunity to check out someone's feedback before you send them oh, you can't if you send out offers.
Oh,
yeah, you're right.
That's it, right.
Well, unless they ask a question. I just finished some auctions and 50% didn't pay.
Oh,
Sandra, my goodness gracious. I am just shocked, you guys. I have not been having this kind of luck. My goodness. I'm so sorry. So what do you think is the reason for all this madness?
I think there's a lot of angry people in the world right now.
She had plush. So Sandra, you're selling plush items. So like toys and that kind of thing. And what about you, Nora? What were you selling? Sunglasses?
You guys had problems with the Jacksonville post office with packages getting stuck there?
I had a few get stuck in Jacksonville. Sales have slowed down to a trickle for Nor and a little bit of everything. I also sell fixed price vintage and no problems here. Okay, Sandra, fixed price vintage. Anybody else want to turn on their webcam? Just say you have your webcam ready in the chat and then I can let you in. Jacksonville is the black hole of the Postal Service. Okay, Philip's ready. All right, so let's see. You guys, we are brand new to this new platform, so I'm excited about giving it a try. Let's see, I found Philip Jackson. Now I can put you in presenter mode. And then you should be able to join us. So there might be something on your end. Here we go. Drum roll. Carol Hogan's in the house. Thanks for joining us. All right. So we're just getting started for you guys that just came in. This new platform that eBay has launched, like Zoom. Yay. Hey, Philip.
There you go. It works.
There you go.
It's confusing because you have to do everything. I can't opt in. I can't send the video. I don't think I can talk to you. I can only use chat until you open up the mic. That seems to be the way this is working.
Yes. So right now, the way, if anybody wants to set up a meeting with this new platform, because you don't have to pay for Zoom, you don't have to pay for this service. And so eBay has graciously set this up for us and made it available. And right now we can only have 4 people and we have to make you a presenter. So if I don't know, you want to be in, then, I don't know. So we have room for 1 more, but right now it only allows 4 people at a time. And then now Brian Burke told me that that's going to change, where we'll be able to have a lot of people like a Zoom, a proper Zoom. But everybody's learning together. We're learning with the eBay staff at the same time. So the whole community is learning how this works.
I see there's a Naor Zipperman that he's ready with his webcam. Do you want me to drop off?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't have to leave us yet. we got to see what this is like. So we get 4 at a time. Okay, so now, Nor, I'm going to make you presenter. And then you should be able to pop in. So what do you get a notice on your end saying, yes, I've approved you?
Yeah, and then there's little buttons at the bottom that say mute, stop video, or share video. Share screen.
Okay. All right, we'll get this figured out. So Philip, you just went mute.
Sorry, yeah, I was muting at my end. That's my fault.
Oh.
When you invite someone and give them the permission to be one of the 4, at the bottom of their screen, they get a button to turn on their mic and a button to turn on their camera.
There he is.
Up until that point, you just get the logo.
Oh, you just get the logo. Okay.
So you have to initiate it, and then the participant has to turn on both mic and camera to appear on the screen.
Okay. Everybody got that. Okay. Perfect. So you guys want to introduce yourselves properly and say you want to start, Valerie, and say where you're from and how long you've been on eBay and what you sell.
I'm Valerie Lord, and I'm in Ocala, Florida, and I've been on eBay since 2002, and that's really about it. I have like 40 items up listed right now, and everything's going pretty well.
Great. 40? Did you say? Great. Awesome. Okay. How about you, Philip? Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, I'm Philip. I went full-time on eBay, I think 13, 14 years ago, something like that. I do a couple of segments, really. One is sort of professional broadcast audio, and the other is industrial precision GPS-based timekeeping, if you want to get very specific. Those are the kind of niches that I go after. Been busy the last couple of days doing all my P&L for last year, so I'm reasonably au fait with numbers at this point. I think I didn't think it was that brilliant a year, but actually looking at the numbers, it seems to be better than previous years. I would say it's about 25-30% up on the previous year in terms of revenue and profit, which I wasn't really expecting. I think I do about 350,000-400,000 a year in terms of revenue, but that's split across eBay and a web store. But the same stuff in both channels. That's basically it, I think.
And where are you located?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm just outside Orlando, on the sort of Claremont side of Orlando.
Claremont side. Okay, perfect. All right, Noah.
Hi. Is my mic on?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't sure. Just started. I saw the buttons at the bottom. I have been doing. I'm from Ocala, or my official address is Summerfield because that's where my PO box is. But I'm in Ocala, and I started doing eBay probably about 11 years ago. I kind of lost track, somewhere around 11 years ago. I have a store with usually anywhere over 1,000 items, sometimes up to almost 1,500. This year, I finally, after 10 years of working completely eBay, I decided to get a job. So now my job is 40 hours a week, and eBay is a side thing for me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of, I wanted a part-time job, and it ended up being a full-time job. But I still do eBay. I do less eBay. Last year, February, exactly a year ago, when this craziness started, I actually brought a whole bunch of stuff, and it sold. It skyrocketed. I guess people still had money and they were doing well, and they just bought everything. Then it kind of slowed down to now it's just 3-4 packages a day is an average, which is what it used to be years ago. I'm kind of maintaining, not buying too much new stuff because I just don't have time to pick it up or to list it. I mean, it takes forever to list.
Yeah.
When I'm working on a job, I just got off an online auction. Actually, I bought a few $100s worth of stuff, but I'm being more cautious nowadays of what I can buy and don't want to spend too much. But unfortunately, with the new eBay managed payment, it seems, I don't know. I mean, in the old days, I seem to have more money. Somehow less fees, but I have less money. So I'm not sure if I'm selling less or not. But
well, I see you brought up managed payments. We've got a few people are asking about it. So Valerie, well, I'll start with that because I started off as a beta tester on managed payments, and it was hard at first because it was like, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and it started just before Christmas. So it was kind of hard introducing a new platform in September, during holiday time. So it was rough in the beginning, but I was really glad that I did because I like not having to transfer money from PayPal. I hated that because especially for my mortgage, I would have to transfer the mortgage all the time. So it was a pain in the butt because you couldn't pay your mortgage with your PayPal. And then I like when they started taking the fees out. So it seemed like at the end of the month, my eBay bills would run $700 on up a month. So I like having my money more at the end of the month. And I'm sure it's all the same because they take it out as you go along, but it's nice not having that big bill at the end of the month, in my opinion. So what do you think, Valerie? What's your thoughts on managed payments?
It was a little confusing at first, and I thought, oh, I don't have to deal with PayPal anymore. And that seemed to be, it seems to be a nice thing, definitely. But I'm not knowledgeable enough in the whole eBay system, big time, to know, am I missing something? Because before wasn't I paying PayPal fees when they handled the transaction?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm not, and I thought you don't get things for free. So that's what I was questioning. I don't know what the other, I don't know. What do you think is the advantage of, what is the eBay managed payments other than it's not going through PayPal? Is it?
It makes it easier for the shoppers to just have their credit card on file at eBay now, and they don't have to go through PayPal. So it makes it, and we want them to have an easier life to be able to shop with us. So, and they can use Apple Pay, and Apple Pay is huge. Yeah, Apple Pay is huge.
Right. Yeah.
So that's another advantage. So what are your thoughts, Philip?
I opted in pretty much the same day that PayPal decided that they were going to withhold the commission payments on refunds. So that was the trigger that caused me to jump in. I don't get a lot of returns and refunds to do, but I resent paying PayPal best part of 3% on items I've refunded. I think that's just a money grab by them. And so I took great pleasure in moving my business across to eBay. So that was the motivation to go over early. That was, I guess, October before last. So this is my first full year just completed on managed payments. My concern, it's broadly the same. There's not a big difference. I think the differences were that I think there are more transactions that get blocked by managed payments that don't go through, that are problems. It's difficult to know because most buyers are not going to email a seller and say, hey, my car was rejected, what's going on with that? Not the kind of thing you discuss with some stranger on the internet. I certainly find that when I buy and sell on eBay in pretty much equal quantities, so I get to see both sides of it. I've certainly had more problems getting payments through to sellers on managed payments than with the old PayPal system. PayPal seemed to have a much more advanced system for verifying and checking and fraud detection and stuff. eBay seems to reject a lot more. So I don't know what the downside is in terms of how many orders I never got because the buyer couldn't get the payment to go through. Certainly some, and very much so internationally. People in Germany seem to have difficulty getting payments and through managed payments, as far as I can tell. But it's very hard to get evidence because they won't tell you. Sure. They just won't buy the item. The year-end process this year was much, much worse. PayPal at least gave you a CSV file with pretty much everything in there that you could figure out what was going on. eBay has changed the rules at various points during the year. Sales taxes have started to come in, commissions on sales taxes. It's been really hard to try and pull all that information out and figure out how to get from the 1099K that you get that says your headline revenue is X to actually what your sales were by the time you take out refunds, taxes, commissions on taxes, all that sort of stuff, how you do your books. That was a nightmare this year.
Was it?
And it was a bit disappointing. They have all this expertise that can do fantastic data mining and do all the stuff that Harry spends 2 hours talking you through. And that's very impressive. But when it comes to simply giving you a spreadsheet that says, okay, these are the transactions for the year, this is how the totals are all made up, really nothing at all. You have to go off and figure out how to pull reports and try and recreate the data and get as close as you can, but it doesn't really ever add up. So trying to get the rows and columns to add up this year was really a lot harder in my view.
Do you use GoDaddy?
No, I just tend to use Excel.
See, I like pulling it in from GoDaddy if you want to give it a go, because it's called GoDaddy bookkeeping, and it pulls in all that data for you, and then you can categorize, cost of goods sold, and you can categorize everything. And then all I do is download that and then send it to my accountant.
Cost of goods, I don't have too much of a problem with. I'm pretty disciplined about entering that into the custom message field. On eBay, whether you use the online listing system or a third-party tool, there's something which is called the custom message field, I think is still the name of it. And there's maybe, 50 characters or something, just text characters. So what I do is I use that set of characters. I imagine that I'm sitting next to an IRS auditor, and the IRS auditor says, okay, well, tell me exactly what your cost of goods are for that particular one transaction. If I can answer that question with backup detail, as far as I'm concerned, I think that's a pretty good system.
Wow.
So that's the standard I try and get to. So, and I buy most of my stuff on eBay, but some other places as well. Maybe there's a PayPal transaction. So I typically put either a PayPal transaction number or an eBay listing number, and then the dollar amount, and then a few other characters that maybe are relevant, just to remind me. And that goes into that field.
That's brilliant.
Another thing, what eBay has also, and I think this is open to certainly store owners and maybe everybody, is a thing called file exchange.
Yeah.
And it sounds dull, but the great thing about that is that you can go in there once a month or however often you like. You put in the beginning date, the end date, and it'll give you a flat file spreadsheet output of all your sales in that period. Yeah. I do it once a month. And one of the fields it gives you back is the custom message field. So now for every sold item, I know who bought it, what the revenue was, what the net was, but I also know my cost information because I entered it into that field. So that's in the same spreadsheet from the get-go. So really, then it's not that difficult to take the revenue number and subtract off the cost information with a bit of spreadsheet manipulation because it's a text field rather than the number field. And then I have a line item, everything I sold. I know my gross margin every month for every single transaction I did on eBay. What I don't do yet is at the line item level, do things like shipping label costs and stuff. I just do that at the end of the year. I don't broadly know what the percentage is, but I just try and get to a gross margin at the item level. And that's enough for me to see whether or not a particular product is the sort of thing I want to do more of or less of.
I think it's brilliant.
So that's my GoDaddy equivalent, really. I record it when I list. And if I buy something, and it can sit around for years before I've got death piles up the wazoo, but I try and be disciplined and print off the order summary. When you buy something on eBay, there's a screen that gives you the order details, I think it's called, and there's a printer-friendly version of that. I usually print that off. I take a bit of Scotch tape and I just type that to the item, and that stays with it until I list it. And then that's I know what I have in the item in terms of the cost, because I tend to repeat stuff over and over and over. I'm lazy. I won't reinvent the wheel. So, it's very difficult for me to look at a Type 6000 widget and know exactly which transaction it was that I bought it, because I probably bought 40 in the last year. So I have to be disciplined and keep that piece of paper attached to it.
That's good.
So I know exactly what it was.
Impressive.
Although I could probably figure it out with a little bit of detective work, but it saves time. So that's how I try and do the bookkeeping side of things. And with that, I think, with a modest amount of Excel effort, it's not too difficult to keep on top of things.
That's a good tip for those that like to play with spreadsheets.
Well, also, if you're doing like state sales tax and stuff, that report is the easiest way, in my view, of probably getting that information. So you've got to pull that every month anyway, probably, to do that return. So it's work you have to do anyway.
And then you file your own taxes? I thought so.
TurboTax, small business, whatever it is, the Schedule C.
That works.
Type all that stuff in from the spreadsheet.
Okay, what about you, Nor? What great tip can you share with us?
I hate bookkeeping, so and plus I buy everything. Almost everything is mixed lots, so there's no way to tell what the cost of any specific item is. That's one of the things I have with the problem with Amazon actually is that they're now taking my items off because I have to provide documentation and receipts. I'm like, I don't have receipts. I buy a giant lot of hundreds of items. I have no idea what,
When you're
there's no
buying
receipts.
pallets.
Yeah, I buy pallets or mixed lots, and then there's no receipts. There's nothing, and there's just one of those things. Say hi, everybody.
Kitty.
Yeah, that's my boy pictures. So I really, I mean, I'm not even close to Philip's level of. I just tell my accountant, well, this is my 1099, and you figure it out.
How much do I owe? That's usually what I say.
Actually, unfortunately, I owe. Yeah, that's one of the things that annoying because they don't take any taxes at the end of the year. You actually probably owe something if you made some money.
Yeah.
But it's just I find it a little tedious, and then I'm in the 100,000 more or less bracket, so it seems like it's under the radar. Just like this year, I got my 1099K from PayPal, so I'm like, nothing arrived from eBay, so I went to eBay, and then they said they didn't make enough for us to give you one. I'm like, okay, I don't care. So, you tell the IRS I didn't make enough. Whatever it was, but I guess when I switched to managed payment, it was just from that time till the end of the year wasn't enough. I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, I'm sure everybody got theirs from eBay by now that has been selling on eBay. And I know when they first went out, my cousin, I hadn't gotten one yet, and my cousin got one, and I was like, are you sure that's from eBay? Because I didn't even know that. I thought it was going to be like PayPal. We log in and download it, So I was surprised that they went out like that, but I appreciate it. So if anybody has any questions, you can type it in the chat. Wow, we got the Villages. A couple of people from the Villages. Got some Village people here. And gosh.
I see somebody's got a comment there about being double charged for shipping. And I had that same thing happen recently.
Really? Double charged?
It wasn't PayPal. It was eBay. Except I bought the postage through eBay, and it was a double charge. It was $9.54, and I never followed through on seeing why or how, because it said it gave another tracking number. Like I bought postage twice, and I'm not that big time. It didn't happen. So
how'd you fix it?
I didn't fix it. So I'm saying I didn't deal with it, but I need to. I need to, because now this person's saying, well, they had it through PayPal, but maybe it was generated the same way. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you should be able to, unless too much time has passed. How long ago was it? Because you got to do it
about a month and two ago.
Oh, yeah, it's probably too late. When that happens, if you go to your shipping label, you go to and look at the history, you can refund one. You can put in a request to void one.
Right.
Yeah.
I've voided several times.
Right. Okay. I have to double check that.
But there is a limit. You only have, I think, a couple days, but I'm not sure.
When you void, they ask you what was the reason, and it takes a while. It takes at least a week or two to get your money back.
Right.
It comes back,
Yeah, they wait a while because they wait and see whether anyone's shipped anything on that tracking number. And it's important, if you have two, that you pick the right one, the one that didn't get shipped. Because if you try and claim the refund on the one that did get shipped, they check it against obviously the record of whether anyone used that label. So it's worth making sure you get that right. But yeah.
So I can ask another question. I ordered some eBay shipping thank you cards from eBay seller.
Did you? Mm-hmm.
They're stuck in Jacksonville since January 15th. And she, as a seller, is telling me I need to file. And I even went in and bought, so they now have Priority Plus tracking. You can pay an extra $2 on any package through the post office online to do this priority tracking, which is a waste of money. But anyway, this is the report because I went over to the post office today and said, because the seller is saying to me, you need to file a claim with the post office. And I said, I'm the buyer. You hired the post office. The way I see it is you hired the post office. You chose, I may have paid you shipping, but you hired the post office to ship it. And the item has not gotten to me. And so, anyway.
Did you file an item not received?
No, not yet, because we've been corresponding, and she was
okay.
going to do a new batch of cards. But I did, which I'll get that worked out with her, but I don't know what to do with the post office. Whose responsibility is it to file the claim with the post office? She's saying it's my responsibility, and I'm like, I'm just the buyer in this case.
Yeah, it should be her, but
I mean, that just makes common sense to me. But,
yeah.
I would push it back to her, because you're going to muddy the water if you start filing stuff, and it's then unclear who's took ownership of it. It's her issue. I think we're all sympathetic to her problem, but at the end of the day, she owns that, and I think you just push back and give it as long as you want to give it. At that point, you say item not received, but you allow plenty of time for her to try and resolve it. That seems fair.
Well, a postmaster has, in every post office can do what it's called a GPS search, which is a lot more detailed than what we have. They can actually see every spot where that package was scanned through, which is a lot more than what you see online. And I've used it a lot of times where people say, hey, where's my stuff? And it's like, oh, yeah, it's been sitting in this office for a week now, and, or rerouted through Chicago into California, some crazy things like that. So the postmasters nowadays, every package can be GPS tracked. And when the person, the carrier actually delivers a package, they can show what address it was delivered, because sometimes it was delivered to the wrong address. It can even tell you if it was delivered to the door, to the back gate, to the whatever, because nowadays they have the technology where the carriers are a lot more detailed than before. So if something is missing, they can go to your postmaster in your post office and give them the tracking, and they'll within a few minutes.
Did that today, and
printout.
Lady didn't. She didn't even know who to file a claim with, and she said, "I'm going to send an email to Jacksonville, but we're not having anything to do with Jacksonville. But I will send an email, and then you can follow up on your glorified tracking, which is
if it's sitting in Jacksonville, there's two. I was told two things. One is that it falls on the floor.
Right.
It takes time until somebody finds it,
right.
which it happens many times. Unfortunately, that's why I call it black hole. And also that it's just they especially in bad weather and a busy time during the holidays, they did prioritize. And first class and parcel was just like, we're too busy. We'll do it later. So it sat there for a week until they finally got to it.
No, I think you should just hang it up and try to take it up, like Phil said, with the seller.
But
the seller will have the exact
new
same
set of cards.
Just tell them to send a new set.
Right. So I mean, that's what I would have done.
What do you have an eBay store?
Yeah.
Then you could get those free with your supplies through the eBay store. You get your free shipping supplies every month.
Oh, I don't think I just upped my level of store like 2 months ago, where I'm paying like $30 a month, where before I was like $5 a month.
Yeah, you should be able to. Let me double check and see if they changed that. But
you should get something. The $5 a month you don't. I think
go.
Everything above that you get some. You get something. I think.
Where do I go?
Go to your subscription.
It's super deep buried in the system.
It's not as bad now.
It is in there somewhere.
If you go to your dashboard, your hub, if you go to your dashboard,
just don't work, and I'm sinking here under piles of poly mailers and padded envelopes and boxes and stuff that don't suit the stuff that I sell. So I'd rather they just gave us the credit against our account and go do what we want with, rather than try and force us into buying stuff that, frankly, I can't use.
But you could sell it.
Yeah, you see people selling it.
That's what everybody does. They just keep getting it and then they sell it. Okay, I found it. There you go. So there's the breakdown. You go to Seller Hub, go to Manage My Store, and then it's under subscriber discounts from Manage My Store. Say hi. If anybody else wants to step in and say hello, we can rotate if you'd like. Hopefully, next meeting, we'll be able to have everybody log in that wants to log in with webcams. And I don't know if you guys heard, but I just launched a new podcast, and with another gentleman that is an auctioneer. And he's a retired auctioneer. Wayne Jordan is his name, and he's very knowledgeable and has been doing eBay a long time. So if you type in flipitorsskipit.com, you'll be able to find it. And that's the name of our show. And WorthPoint, of course, is sponsoring it. So they helped get the ball rolling. But it's all, we share all of our experience with selling on eBay and all of our eBay tips. And the first one is concert apparel, because I've been selling a lot of rock concert T-shirts, and they're fun to find when you go thrifting at Goodwill and different places. Has anybody else sold concert shirts lately? Luckily, I saved all mine. I've been to 30 concerts, and I quit counting after that. And the ones that I can remember, I saved all. I always got T-shirts from them, and I saved them all. And when I first started on eBay, I started selling them, and I got almost $800 for a Frank Zappa T-shirt, because Frank Zappa was rare, I guess. But so if you have them T-shirts, get them out.
You have some very interesting things listed.
Yeah, I do. I do. Right now, it's been Princess Kate Middleton royalty stuff. And I've been doing really well with the royalty stuff. If anybody's got stuff like that. Who knew there was people into dressing like the royals? I did not know this. Everybody wants to wear a dress that Kate Middleton was seen wearing, so it's crazy. I had no idea about this market. My eBay store is my name, or my eBay ID is my name, Danna, Danna, 2 N's. I'm a consignment seller, so I have a lot of crazy stuff. But does anybody have any questions that any of us can answer? Or if you would like to log in, we can rotate. Valerie can swap out. Somebody can swap in. Just type it in chat that you have your webcam, and we will swap you out. Advice for newbie seller. Who wants to offer some newbie some advice? Go for it, Philip.
Two things come to mind. Firstly, the best way of learning how to sell is to buy. Once you've bought 100 things on eBay, you will very quickly figure out the approach from sellers that you like or dislike, and there'll be a lot of things you'll pick up from that. So that's the first thing. And I think that you'll be able to guide yourself through the process. And I think after that, the thing that surprises me sometimes is that people, when they start selling on eBay, are reluctant to get into the numbers. But that's the key to being successful, is knowing where you make your money and doing more of the stuff that makes you more money and less of the stuff that doesn't make you so much money. And I think the basic minimum, I think, is at the end of every month, you have to know for everything you sold, how much gross margin you made on that item. If you can't put your finger on that number, I don't think you're going to learn over time. You'll just end up being busy, but you probably will never be able to specialize and refine the system and ramp up the margin. So I think mastery of Excel kind of comes with that. Lots of courses and things in libraries for that sort of thing, or whatever version of a program you want to use. But to my mind, being an online seller and getting your head around that stuff is definitely on your to-do list.
Tip.
Yeah, I started by just selling everything I had that I didn't need. And like my wife used to say, if I didn't like her, I probably would have put her on eBay too. But it's one of those things where you just start selling what you have, and then when you are comfortable with it, then you can go on and get a store and or whatever. Um, but it's just it. Well, Philip is talking about specializing. My specialty is not specializing, which obviously I'm kind of in the bushes, eating whatever. So it depends what you like to do. For me, it's a hobby that pays. So I want to be entertained by what I find and then sell it instead of just specializing in a niche, which is the way to go. Really, I mean, if you have a niche and you know what you're doing and you're specializing and you have a way to find the products and cheaper than everybody else. Because I find that I really can compete with the Chinese. They get free shipping and they can flood the market with cheap garbage that for $2. I mean, I pay the minimum that the USPS will charge you for a 1 ounce package is like almost $4 with the fees, the eBay fees, and yet they can sell the same thing for free shipping for $2. I have no idea how it's done. I don't care because I can't do it. So I just stay within a margin. The one thing that new buyers and new sellers have to remember is put your shipping cost in there, because a lot of people get all excited and they sell it and then they realize that it cost them just as much to ship as what they sold. And if they put free shipping, oopsie, now you not only didn't make any money, but now you owe eBay money. So in the old days you owe eBay and PayPal, but you really have to remember boxes cost money. Labels cost money. I mean, any label that you put, unless even if you're printing out of your computer, your ink costs money. All that has to be calculated because most buyers nowadays like free shipping. So it's pretty brutal when you're selling small stuff and you're something. I try to sell nothing under $8 just because I'll make $1 or $2. I'm not in the business of selling. You have to sell 1,000 items to make any money. Being that I usually have one off, it's just not worth it. So if I have something that's really small, I'll just donate it. I don't even bother with it. I don't try to sell anything under $8 because it's just I'm going to lose money and I'm going to waste time. Like Philip said, you're going to be very busy, but you're not going to make any money. But if you find your niche and you like specific things, yeah, absolutely, we'd go for it.
Yep, I usually suggest
I pre-package everything at the time I do the listing, so it makes it easier to store on my inventory store, and it makes it easier to know what it's going to cost me to ship it. When I set my price, I mean, I can look at something, I know broadly what it is, but when you start, you can, for example, you could do the listing process and set it up as pay for shipping. You put the weight and dimensions in there. You could see then, for example, what it comes back and tells you what it's going to cost to ship. You could put 90210 as a sample zip code in, probably worst case scenario for most of us. It'll give you an upper limit on the shipping cost, and then you factor that into your asking price if you're including free shipping. But I think a lot of people don't like doing the packing until the last minute, and then they realize, oh, it's got a dimensional surcharge, or it's bigger and longer or heavier than I thought it was going to be, and they undercharge for shipping or they underestimate the cost. So certainly when you're starting, it's not a bad idea, in my opinion, to pre-package stuff. Also helps you get stuff out very quickly, of course, as well.
For large items, you probably want the buyer to do a calculator, because I've had things where, especially Hawaii and Alaska, where the shipping costs more than what they paid for, so I had to just cancel and say I'm sorry, but they get upset, and then eBay gets upset and then dings you. Now I see Parviz is asking, how do I get an eBay rep that speaks English? Well, that was one of the things that I mean, the customer service does speak English, but they're in the Philippines, which is a little on the upsetting side, because Filipino English is not exactly the same, and they use script. So I find that I only call them if I have to, and I'm very happy when I find somebody from the U.S., which is not very often.
You haven't been able to call, though. Yeah, has anybody been? Have you called lately?
Probably a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Yeah, I find that most of the customer service is in the Philippines. These guys speak English, but it's kind of hard to understand them, and they only work with script. So if you get off the script, they have no idea what you're talking about. So in that sense, an American customer representative would be a lot more flexible, but it's kind of hard to find. And it's just a lottery thing where you pick up the phone and
Yeah, I haven't had that.
if somebody, I find that.
Also, bear in mind that the US sites operate certain office hours. Obviously, if you call in outside those office hours, by definition, you're going to go to Ireland or Philippines or wherever these places are that handle that.
Home anyway, so it's even less people talking.
So Robert suggested Saturday mornings. So give that a try.
That's good.
Parviz. Were you going to say something, Valerie?
Yeah, I want to. You don't want to get any long discussion about something else right now, but
it's okay.
Why all of a sudden? Okay, what's the thing with the sales tax that eBay is collecting on things? Is that something that they're talking about sales tax?
Yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward. eBay's handling it all for us. So if you see, yeah, they charge it, they pay it. So we don't have to worry about dishing out sales tax fees at the end of the year or whatever.
Okay.
It's all.
Okay.
They're not doing Florida yet. So we still have to file our sales tax.
No, she's talking about when the people come in and they buy your item, eBay's charging them a sales tax. Sales tax is being
right, but in many states, eBay sends it directly to the state, and you don't have to. Otherwise, you'll need a bookkeeper just for that. But in Florida, which we are in Florida, you still have to figure out how much you collected from Florida buyers and send it directly to the state. They're talking about doing it directly like other states, but I think they're up to about 30 some states that they're sending directly to the state. Florida's not
okay.
Just one point, I think people need to bear in mind with the collection of sales taxes that, as I recall, you get charged eBay fees on the amount of tax they collect. So there's a money being collected that you don't normally see on your paperwork that's going off to some state somewhere, but you are being charged a percentage on top of that for having eBay handle that for you. So when you do your books, you need to capture that amount somewhere because that's an expense. And that's where it got complicated this year because that expense is kind of buried in the system. There's money flowing in and out under your name that's coming up under your 1099K that you don't see, but there's also an expense line somewhere buried in the system that you should be deducting from your revenues as a legitimate business expense. So it's kind of complicated, and eBay
doesn't make it any easier. Has anybody run into that with GoDaddy bookkeeping? Is that being calculated? I'm bad at keeping up with my records on GoDaddy, so I just like log in every once in a while, excuse me, and then put in my categories. But I wonder if GoDaddy is pulling that data for us. Does anybody know? I will have to check on that. So I made a note to check on that, and I'll try to find out because I know my bookkeeper is in Clearwater. That does not my bookkeeper. She does my taxes, and I've had her for years. So I just send her all the data, and then she does it. So thanks for that tip, Philip. It's a good tip. You're just full of good information tonight. Yeah. All right. So we got 5 more minutes. And wow, this just flew by, didn't it? This was so fun. Sandra said, I think it pulls some, but not all. Rosemary, as a new seller, a simple bookkeeping recommendation. I suggest GoDaddy bookkeeping. In my opinion, if you don't want to do the books, unless you're a math major like Philip, then you can do. No, I'm teasing. But I just don't like doing books. But so GoDaddy is the one that I like. It used to be called Outright, and now it's GoDaddy. And it's what? $20, or I think it's $9.99 a month or something. And then if you prepay for the year, it's cheaper. So I just pay for the year. And then it pulls in all the data from my Wells Fargo bank, from my checking, from my savings, my business account, and my personal account. And it pulls in all of eBay and anything that is in PayPal here and there will get pulled in as well. So then now I've got all of my records in one area. Of course, we haven't been thrifting too much, but what about online auctions? I've been getting a little carried away with them myself, buying stuff.
I just finished one tonight, and I'm watching other things that are slowly going as it goes, and my usual stuff in Atlanta is coming up every 2 weeks. It's just a matter of getting back into it. I haven't bought anything this year.
Where do you find that at? Where do you find that at?
Online auctions.
I buy a lot from Gov Deals. There's things like that. It's just depends what you're looking for. They have a lot of electronics, a lot of big stuff. The problem with eBay is big stuff. The shipping won't kill you, so you have to buy small.
Well, I shouldn't tell my secret, but it's called Florida Online Auctions, and I am addicted. And they run in Claremont. There's Summerfield, Ocala, and so I just got carried away on one in Ocala recently. But the great thing about it is you can look at these online auctions and then open up another window and, check highest price first on eBay, check worth point. You can, make decisions on where you're going to make money, and then you'll know how much to buy the items for. But it's pretty awesome, pretty cool, because with Northeast Ocala, all over Ocala and Bellevue, they run auctions, and I think it's brilliant. And no drinking. We got alcohol in the house. What is this? The only other tip I can say to share is with the shipping, I discovered a new tool called Pirate Ship. And Pirate Ship I feel is a good resource for new sellers to not be afraid of shipping. Not necessarily that you're going to use them to do your shipping, but they have a great system to give you prices. So you can put in your weight, your measurements, and you don't even have to sign in.
Pirate Ship has significantly better first-class international parcel rates than anywhere else. And you have to apply for it. It's not their standard first-class rate. They call it something else. And once you set the account up, you have to ask for them to turn that on. But for packages less than, let's say, £2, less than £1, Pirate Ship is a lot less. So rather than paying, I don't know, $18, $20, whatever the eBay price is, Pirate Ship will come in at $14, $15, something like that. First class international parcel. It's the exact same service, but they don't call it that. They call it something else. Other than that, their rates, I don't think, are much different from any commercial reseller of the post office. But some reason they do something special on the first class mail.
They just make it easy. I have not used them personally, but I've been thinking about it, but I have not used them. But what I like about them is they make it easy for new eBayers to get those rates right away. Like you said, so many people are afraid to get started on eBay because the shipping scares them. And that's what holds people back, is the shipping and trying to figure it out. It can be overwhelming. So on Pirate Ship, you just put your box on the scale or like Philip, and pre-box it before you list it, and then put it on the scale. And now you can get the weight and the measurements and put in 90210 for the zip code that you're shipping to, because that's California and it's easy to remember. So it'll give you the farthest price, you know what I mean, to ship it, so you can get an idea. And Sandra said it connects to eBay. I did not know that.
It
does. Yeah. You can link it to eBay. Also links to Shopify and other stores like that as well, if you want to set that up. eBay has this eBay Send International, which is also quite attractive for sort of smaller items. I've had reasonably good luck with it. It's a little lumpy at times, but it does work pretty well, and is good for the sort of the sub £2 level, where the post office international rates are basically, the post office charges you £2 regardless of weight below that, whereas eBay Send International gives you a better price at lower weights. That's quite good. Plus, also you actually get delivery confirmation, which He's a bit.
So everybody get practicing your webcams. So next time we can everybody can join in on. We can see all. We'll have to fix our hair and stuff. So, all right. Any final words?
Just thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks for testing this out with me. And I think this is going to work. I'm excited. All right. Bye, guys. Happy eBay selling.
Thank you.